What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room yet again, always with another one. And yes, indeed, it is another one. So we're here now. Trump has just appointed a new border czar and things like that. And I want to dive off in this, and things like that. And of course, there's been a lot of questions that are coming up, about Trump. He was separating families, things like that. The last time, things like that, he was, getting the illegals up out of here to a degree. So I reached back and I gathered and I went to see, did Obama actually do the same thing? So, what I'm saying, did Obama separate families at the border? Okay. This is the question that's being asked out here. Real talk. All right. So I reached back. I gathered this. We're going to go here now. We're going to check this out. Okay. And then we're going to keep diving and see what the new border czar has to say. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
In our politics lead, the fate of more than 2,000 migrant kids separated from their families by the U.S. government is still unclear after President Trump's 180 on this policy. Joining me now is someone who had to deal with an immigration crisis himself, former Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson, who held that role for 4 years under President Obama. First of all, just clear something up for me, because we've heard from this administration and from fact checkers that there were family separations that happened under the Obama administration and the Bush administration.
Jake, there was no policy or practice, at least on my watch, to separate women, parents from their children.
There might be individual cases of it?
There were, I'm sure, individual cases for reasons of health or safety, but we did not have that policy or practice, and it's not something I would have adopted. It's not something I would have permitted.
So your success...
Nobody's saying that it's supposed to be a policy or that there was a policy. The thing of this is did it actually happen to a degree? Let's keep going.
Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen enacted this policy along with the Attorney General Jeff Sessions, zero tolerance, meaning anybody crossing the border illegally, whether they're seeking asylum or just seeking entry illegally, gets prosecuted. And as that happens, they all get separated from their children. What was your response when you heard that?
Well, first, the actual policy and the messaging of the policy has been a moving target. But what appears to have been the case up until yesterday was that the Department of Justice had adopted a zero tolerance policy where migrants would be prosecuted criminally in federal district court. And once the migrant is taken into Department of Justice custody, if the migrant had a child with him or her, that child would have to be separated because you can't bring a child into.
Well, what the French toast is there to think about?
Okay.
To pretrial detention. And so it was an obvious conscious policy choice to make, knowing full well that the child would be separated if you choose to prosecute the parent.
But you never did that as a policy, the Obama administration. That there's been reports about how you discussed it, you talked about it,
that is correct.
To deter people from coming across the border illegally. President Obama deported more.
Did you see the look in his eyes? Hold on. Hold up. Yo. Hold up. This is crazy. Right there. That look right there is shit. It's right there. Listen, look, man. This is the thing right here. Now, listen, look. Nobody said that's a mandated policy. It's not it wasn't a policy. Even under the Obama administration, it wasn't necessarily a policy. But like he said before, if you detain an illegal and they also have a minor with them, which is their child, by our legal standpoints, the child and the parent get separated. Now, I know a lot of people will sit there and, of course, that sounds egregious. That sounds crazy. That sounds, overwhelmingly, difficult. And I get it. But when we're going by the legal law standards, these are the laws that we have in place. And, so it works the same for even American citizens. If, you and your child are together and you get pulled over and things like that, technically you are going to get separated from your child.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Your child is not going to go to jail with you. Either you're going to have to call someone or something else is going to have to go down. But your if you violate something and you have your child with you and you get arrested, your child is not going to go to jail with you. Period.
More undocumented immigrants than any other president, I think.
To be clear, just on my watch, 3 years, we deported, removed, or repatriated about 1 million people. And particularly during the spike in 2014, when we had the rise in the families, I encouraged our Border Patrol, our immigration enforcement people to bring forth every legally available idea. And so I encouraged Tom Homan and Kevin McAleenan to bring us the various options.
And one idea was prosecute everyone, separate kids from their parents, and you didn't do it. Why?
First of all, I didn't believe it was right. I spent enough time on the border myself, talking to parents, kids, and it's not something that I could envision ever doing, pulling a child away from its mother. When you get to the border, you literally see mothers clinging to their children who have carried them all the way from Central America. So it's not something I could do. It's not something I could ask a Border Patrol agent or an immigration enforcement person to do, and it's not something I could float as a deterrent.
So now Secretary Nielsen has to, or the Secretary of Health and Human Services, whoever, somebody has to bring these kids back to their parents. That's what the administration says it's going to do. That's what Ivanka Trump is tweeting should happen. Melania Trump is saying. How do you do that? I mean, do they even have a record of this kid is there and this kid is there and their parents are here and here? Do they know where everybody is?
I don't know the answer to that question, Jake, because this policy was put in place in such a hurry. It's already apparent that not all of the angles and implications were thought through before the Attorney General announced this zero tolerance policy. I agree that the government here has some obligation to try to reunite the children from their parents. How they're going to do that, I couldn't really tell you, because it's not something we had to deal with in the prior administration.
And what you have.
So, listen, look, it is what it is on that part. Here we go. So apparently, of course, under the Obama administration, they did separate, families. So, all right, cool. We're going to keep going here, and we're going to keep diving, and we're going to check out what the new border czar has going on, and we're going to see what's going to happen now in 2024 and 2025. In 2025, I'll put it that way. So, okay, let's see what the new border czar had to say. Here we go.
As President-elect Donald Trump ramps up his transition of power plans, he has now vowed to begin a mass deportation to expel every undocumented immigrant in the U.S. beginning on day one of his term.
As Christian Benavides reports, we're learning he has now named 2 people who are likely to head up that program.
Vote Republican, and we will begin the largest deportation operation in American history.
President-elect Donald Trump's vow to begin deporting undocumented immigrants helped sweep him into office, and now he's putting the people in place to make it happen. Trump posted Sunday on Truth Social that he is naming former ICE Director Tom Homan as his border czar. Homan defended Trump's signature pledge on 60 Minutes last month.
I've seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security? Is that worth it?
Homan recommended the zero tolerance.
Now, my question is that what American taxpayers should expect? Okay, then. Listen, look. American taxpayers have already paid billions of dollars for the immigrants to come over here, eat good, sleep good, all this other type of crap going on, staying in these high-rise hotels. American citizens have spent billions of tax dollars on sitting around here feeding illegals already. And she just said, what, 1 million something to deport these people?
Policy during Trump's first administration, resulting in undocumented immigrants being separated from family members who were citizens. He told 60 Minutes this time will be different.
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
CBS.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Wow. Well, hey, listen, look, I'm sorry, but this man right here looks like a no nonsense, tolerating ass man. He looks like he doesn't play any games. He don't have time for the games. And, I get it. I do get it. You know what I'm saying? America has come to a point right now to where we're so weak in the world stage, in the world stage eyes, to where we need a situation till we have a no nonsense tolerating type of people in certain strategical places. And I understand humanity, I get it, but our tribe is that we've already allowed so many illegals in. We've paid for these individuals with our own tax-paying dollars. And as a tax-paying citizen, if you don't feel some type of way or think some type of way, because at the end of the day, when you go out and you work hard, you're especially average people, you work hard, you're 9 to 5, or you're paying your taxes, period. Whoever you are, rich, poor, whatever, middle class, whatever. When you're paying taxes in this country, you want your tax money to go to the things that we need to have done. Roads still need to be paved. We need to overhaul our electrical system in this country. We have a lot to do for ourselves over here.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
We have a lot of things to do that we could be using that money for instead of doing this right now. But shit, though, we at this point right now, and this is what it is.
CBS News has also confirmed Stephen Miller, a vocal advocate for strong immigration policies during Trump's first term, will be Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy.
Neither Homan nor Miller need Senate confirmation, but Trump is pushing for the new Republican-controlled Senate to move quickly to confirm the rest of his cabinet.
Thank you for coming here today.
That includes New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, who will be leaving Capitol Hill to serve as U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations. Christian Benavides, CBS News, West Palm Beach, Florida.
Sounds like it's some intelligent women being put in place out here. I mean, all right. Yeah, we're keeping this thing going right here. Here we go right now. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Look who's here. Trump's new border czar, Tom Homan. Tom, congratulations. We know that a lot of Border Patrol officials, people who work the border, are excited that you're the guy, Tom. First, how are you going to deal with Democrats and blue sanctuary cities and states saying they will oppose you?
They got to get out of the way because we're coming. Now, I'd much rather work with them and target because, it's clear that we're going to target public safety threats and national security threats first. That's our priority. And I would think any elected representative, a mayor, a governor, especially the police chiefs, would want to work with us to remove public safety threats and national security threats out of their states. But if they don't want to help, fine. Just get the hell out of the way because ICE is going to do their job and they're not going to stop it.
So
what the what? Oh my! What he get the hell out of the way? What did he get the hell out of the way? Either you're going to be for the solution, and if you're not, get the hell out of the way. Wow. What? Okay. All right.
If you say in New York City, you're going to double the manpower to get it done?
We have to. I mean, look, it'd be nice to have a force multiplier. It'd be nice if they let us give us access like Rikers Island that we used to have. But if they're not going to let us in the jails, arrest the bad guys, we'll have to wait till they release the person, which means we got to go to neighborhoods and find them. That's where we require more agents. So if I have to send more agents to a sanctuary city, that's exactly what I'm going to do, because we have a mission. As you said earlier, we have a mandate for the American people. They want this fixed, and we're going to fix it with or without mayors and chiefs of police.
So,
Woo, woo. Now, listen, look right here. To be honest with you, we've already done our broadcast on what on what Mayor Adams is up to up there in New York. He's already turning his back on the Democratic Party. He's already saying that he's going to stop the funding for the illegals, even if it was coming to an end or not. It's, you know what I'm saying? Either way it go, it's going to be over with. So I'm curious to wonder if Mayor Adams is going to actually cooperate and things like that. Now, we also have to understand here too, whether the governor of New York is going to actually comply and get in line as well. So yes, it's going to be very interesting coming up here.
So there are 1.6 million already have deportation orders. They've already gone through due process. That sounds like what you're going to go for first. I mean, polling shows a majority of Americans back deportations of illegal immigrants. They crossed the border illegally. They should have done it legally. They broke the law. You're getting pushback for saying on 60 Minutes families could be deported together.
This administration's deported families together. I mean, look, you know, if you can't, if these people demand due process, they demand the right to claim asylum, they demand the right to see a judge, and we give that to them at an exorbitant taxpayer cost. At the end of that due process, if the federal judge says you must go home, they have to go home. If they don't, then what the hell are we doing? Shut down the immigration court. They don't mean anything anymore. You know, take Border Patrol off the border because there's no consequence. This is a legal system set up. We'll give them a chance to claim asylum, but when they lose, they got to go home. The law requires it, and if you don't do it, you will never fix the southern border.
Okay, so he also said they will give a chance to claim asylum. So, but if it can't be proven and things like that, then they have to go. Okay, so it is just a tiny bit of grace that things are trying to be had right now and right here. I get it. So yes, you know what I'm saying? Maybe let's give the grace that we can, but if the situation cannot be proven, or definitely for the Tren de Lagra, I know for sure, you know what I'm saying, because we also have the information about the type of tattoos that the Tren de Lagra like to oppose upon their skin, things like that. You know what I'm saying? Even though they may not be, you know, using that as hard now because they learned the tricks of the game to try to keep staying over here. But that particular gang, a lot of those members, I guarantee you, are going to be some of the first people to get deported in this situation soon as the turn of the year.
You know, it's literally bankrupting blue cities and states. Taxes are going up. More than 1,900 terrorists caught crossing under Biden-Harris. More than 100.
Right. Shout out to Chicago. Brandon Johnson out there, Mayor Mohawk and shit, out there raising technical. All right. Well, I know I ran on the policy that, you know, I was not going to raise taxes, but in this particular time right now, due to the factors and things like that, we have to raise these taxes. I'm sorry, Chicagoans, that I have to do said things, but, you know, in order to pay for this deficit that I screwed up on, and, you know, I know that you are mad at me right now for, you know, giving all this money to these illegals and things like that, and paying for their food and places to stay and things like that, while you are out there homeless and I have to raise your property tax. Man, cut the crap out, Brandon.
What the French toast is there to think about?
Shit, this is crazy.
118,000 criminal illegal aliens or suspects caught crossing. It's unclear why media and Democrat don't mention the crimes here. They're not rounding errors. These are human beings affected here. Obama, by the way, was, as you pointed out, was the biggest deporter in chief. He did 3.2 million deportations. Right. That's triple what Trump did. The majority of the world does deportations. The EU does deportations. No country in the world does what the U.S. does in collapsing the border. Watch the media, though, attacks here. Watch.
Tom Homan. Cecilia, that's who you mentioned. He's also got ties to Project 2025.
This is a guy with a cowboy attitude. It's going to require a lot of pushback.
You realize, I mean, it's chilling what he just said. You realize that when he says, yes, families can be deported together, what he is saying is that U.S. citizens can be deported.
That's not what he's saying. That's not what he's saying.
Are you saying that, Tom?
U.S. citizens can't be deported. That is
right. U.S. citizens can't be deported. What the?
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Man, we got to stop being stupid out here. You know what I'm saying? Especially with that damn the View. Oh my good, them broads up there. You know, I got a huge problem with the View, especially that damn Sunny. With her slave holding ancestry having ass. Damn slave driver ass Sonny.
It's a ridiculous statement to make. Look, we're going to target, I've said it over and over again, we're going to target the worst of the worst first, and that's going to be our priority. U.S. citizens are perfectly safe. Legal immigrants are perfectly safe. For God's sakes.
Tom, talk to us about the crime from criminal illegal aliens. What are you seeing on the streets? How are Americans being abused in this border collapse that Biden and Harris accelerated?
Alien crimes at an all-time high, gang violence, illegal alien gang violence at an all-time high. And here's what people need to know. Under President Biden, the removal of criminal aliens is down 72%. We're going to fix that. All
right, Tom Homan, congratulations. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, shout out to that.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Shout out to that, man. And these are just the factors right here. This is what's going down, and this is how it's going to go down. You know, and like he just said, at the end of the situation, people that are legally here cannot be deported under the law. So I'm sorry, but if you have somebody that's with you and family members, stuff like that, that aren't legally here or are not working on being legally here, yes, I'm sorry. It just is what it is. But the main factor is that, you know, they're not trying to deport people that are, you know, trying to better themselves. We're trying to get all these illegals out of here that are committing these crimes, that are coming over here out of Venezuelan prisons and things like that, or other places that are here trying to create ruckus and stuff like that. How you thought that the person that came in here from Iran that had the plot on Donald Trump's life and stuff like that, that they, you know, said they caught 2 others. The third one, he's still in Iran on the loose. How you think these people got over here with our open borders? This is ridiculous out here and disrespectful. But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.